is bidding for control of the main levers of power. Now, I want to talk about the essence of being free. And we don't need government to make us free. We begin to act like free beings, and the rest will follow. We ran out of time Sunday talking about that. I wanted to recap that briefly as we go to break. But before we go there and come back with your energy presentation that I won't be here for, you'll have a 6-minute segment, an 18-minute segment, and a 6-minute segment to finish out the show here today, because I don't want you to be interrupted getting into that, John. But I want to be clear on energy. I want to explore our oil. I want to explore natural gas. I want to use coal because we have clean burning plants, because that's the energy we have. But I also know they've blocked a lot of the free energy, the 0 point stuff. It's come out, they've been blocking it, discrediting it, trying to control the new energy systems by only giving money to their friends who never even build anything, or build something that's a fraud, or build something that's 60-year-old alternative energy. So they're blocking renaissance in this. And some of the alternative energy people go, how dare you promote an oil boom in the U.S. while claiming you're for new forms of energy? Well, that's hypocritical. Of course I'm for more. Whatever we've currently got, we need more of. Better than the Saudi Arabians, better to have low prices while developing new systems. I don't think the two conflict with each other at all. I mean, I'm absolutely for North American oil exploration. I want it to be done good. I don't like fracking in populated areas. There's a good way to do fracking versus a bad way. They can define fracking as any type of drilling. So I mean, it's the Saudi Arabians. We've caught them funding the main anti-fracking movement. That's just a fact. And because they don't want stuff being developed here. Well, most of our oil exploration is not fracking. So I want to let you break it all down coming up. I wanted to throw that in. Now, take us out to break. We're going to break here in about 3 minutes. So I'm now going to turn things over to you, John. You'll hear the music. You take us out. You intro us. We'll take the training wheels off here and let you host the show, because you're a great guy and I know can do it. But briefly, take us out what the essence of freedom is for Jon Rappoport. And I will see everybody else tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central here with the weekday show. Alex Jones handing the baton off to Jon Rappoport.
Thanks so much, Alex. At the end of the Sunday conversation that we had, you made the point, and it's absolutely correct, that freedom is not something that's given to you by the government. I don't care what the documents are, even the founding documents. The founding documents did not create freedom as if it had never existed before. You individually have your freedom. You've always had your freedom. Everybody has that potential within them, and they have to know what that means at a profound level, not just some superficial level, because once you understand what it really means, your own freedom, independent from anything else, then you begin to understand what you need to do now in this situation that we find ourselves. And that's the big one. But that's the first step. The Constitution did not create freedom. The Articles of Confederation, the Declaration of Independence, they did not give people freedom that was never there to begin with. It confirmed the freedom that every individual has. And think of the disaster if individuals don't understand within themselves what their own freedom really is at the most profound level. Then we're done. That has to change. That has to really, really change. So that's where we're going with that conversation about freedom. It means that every individual begins with a contemplation of what his own liberty and freedom really means to him. Does it mean that you can buy a soda at the 7-Eleven instead of at the liquor store? Is that where it goes? Does it mean that you can buy, a 2-seater couch instead of a chair, or a 1999 car that's been completely remodeled? I mean, is that the limit of what freedom means? That you can take a vacation? Is that what it's all about? Is that the beginning and the end of it? Is freedom mean that you can shut your eyes to what's happening in the world and that nobody's going to punish you for retreating into a little burrow somewhere? Is that what your freedom means? Nobody can say to you what your freedom means. You have to find it. You have to decide, and you have to go down below the everyday nonsense of social conversation and mainstream media and so forth to find out what that is. You would think that would be part of the educational system, don't you think so? Thomas Jefferson, as part of the founding of the public education system, wanted it to be the education of citizens. Because why? Because he said this was a republic, unlike any other form of government that ever existed. Therefore, the entire purpose of the education system should be to educate children into understanding what the role of a citizen would be in a republic. Do you find any discussion of freedom now in school? No, you don't. We'll be back on InfoWars.
Harvest Right is the world's first in-home freeze dryer. Freeze dry your own fruits, vegetables, meats, and full meals. With Harvest Right, you can prepare foods that last 25 years, preserving its freshness, nutrition, color, and taste. All your food can be freeze-dried. So don't throw away your leftovers. Freeze dry them with this incredible in-home money-saving freeze dryer. Go to HarvestRight.com to see how the Harvest Right freeze dryer works. That's HarvestRight.com.
Clean water at home, clean water at the office, clean water on the go. The Berkey Guy has a Berkey water filtration model for anywhere you are and one that fits any budget. Thousands of satisfied customers can't be wrong. For free shipping within the U.S., go to goberkey.com or call 877-886-3653. That's 877-886-3653. Helping thousands prepare since 2005, goberkey.com.
Big business has discovered the preparedness market, and that makes it difficult to know where to go and who to trust. MyPatriotSupply.com is owned and operated by patriots just like you. Has the best prices on storable food, non-GMO seeds, water filtration devices, home canning equipment, survival and self-reliance books, and more. MyPatriotSupply.com has old-fashioned values and the absolute best customer service in the industry. Look for the deal of the day. Unique, affordable survival supplies that fit anyone's budget. Get same-day shipping on all orders and free shipping on orders over $49. Call 866-229-0927, 866-229-0927, or visit MyPatriotSupply.com for emergency preparedness, self-reliance, and food independence. Shop with a name you know and a name you can trust. Before it's time to survive, it's time to prepare. MyPatriotSupply.com.
Are you happy doing your laundry with perfumed detergents that irritate your skin? Are you happy washing your hands with stinking fragrances that gives your skin rashes? Are you happy paying new higher prices for smaller boxes? Find your happiness today with our 1 to 4 year supply of pure soaps or our 1 to 2 month sampler with bar soap, shampoo, laundry, and dish soap at 5starsoap.com. You deserve the best. Happiness is 5starsoap.com.
Get the most important package of information you'll ever receive in your life for only $10. The package includes 3 books and 7 DVD programs which cover biblical miracles and prophecy. The Shroud of Turin, The Third Secret of Fatima, What Really Happened to the Catholic Church, and more. Call 800-513-0029. That's 800-513-0029. Or go to VaticanCatholic.com. That's VaticanCatholic.com. 800-513-0029. VaticanCatholic.com.
Attention all radio listeners. Survival Life is giving away free credit card knives exclusively to our radio listeners. Visit freecovertknife.com to see this covert knife in action and to claim yours free. It's the same knife you've seen in airline magazines for $29.95. But today, it's yours free. Just pay shipping and handling. Go to freecovertknife.com. Go now.
When the day comes where the world changes forever, you can be ready at a moment's notice. With Survivalist Camps, the ultimate fully functional off-the-grid survival bug-out house that's completely mobile and ready to go. All the comforts of an RV, but custom built to outlast any other trailer. Learn more at survivalistcamps.com. Due to overwhelming response, limited inventory is available. Be ready with survivalistcamps.com. Survivalist Camps, providing your basic needs to survive.
John Rappaport sitting in for Alex for the rest of the hour, InfoWars Radio. Just to wrap up what I was saying about freedom, do you know any schools in America where this is the issue, as it should be? A 2,000-word essay on what it means to you to be free in this country now. Why not? Indeed, why not? What could be a greater issue? But if you happen to bring that up in the school these days, I mean, you could be suspended. Who knows what would happen? Individual freedom in an elementary school, in a high school, in a college, university, you could be stoned. I mean, this is verboten. You cannot bring up this subject. This is not a subject for discussion, much less assignment in classes. Professor gets up at the beginning of a class in college and says, the most important thing you can learn about in college is your individual freedom, and that's what we're going to focus on in this class in philosophy of Ubla-D, whatever. That guy's on a short leash from that moment on, that teacher. His career is going to be sidetracked if he persists in that. And yet, that's the basis of the country. That's what the Constitution was, Declaration of Independence. What happened? Complete overthrow. That's what happened. But that doesn't stop you as an individual from doing that work. Because when you hit pay dirt and you really understand at the most profound level what your freedom really means, what it is, then you know what to do. Then you understand. Then you can apply your mind. Not to some harebrained scheme, but to something that's going to contribute to turning this whole massive fascist oligarchy around. Okay. Energy. So now 30%, we're going to cut 30% of coal. No problem, the president says. This, in fact, is going to create more jobs. It's a miracle. I mean, he's got to be a magician, if not an outright messiah, if he can cut coal by 30% and yet, in the process, create more jobs and even more energy. This is like saying today is tomorrow, night is day, day is night. It's all 1984 lingo. At the same time, as Alex said in the last segment, and this is very important, you've got to keep the energy you have while you actually develop energy of the future. And I'm sorry to insult certain environmentalists about this, who I guess want to go back into the forest and scratch on the ground for roots and tubers and depopulate the planet down to about 100 million people. But in a society, a civilization, you've got to keep the energy you have while you develop actual new energy, not phony new energy, real new energy. Energy, in fact, energy technology that's been suppressed for a long time, which is what I'm going to get into for the remainder of the hour here. Actual energy suppression. For example, take the case of one Frank Schumann. Ever hear of Frank Schumann? A scientist, an engineer, 1862 to 1918. He was one of the primary originators of solar power, solar panels. He discovered a way to transfer solar energy into pipes within panels. And in fact, he built a factory in Egypt, which apparently runs to this present day, based entirely on solar in Mahdi. Pumps out 6,000 gallons of water, this solar energy engine, per minute, 6,000 gallons per minute to cotton fields along the Nile. That's real. That's pretty good. That was back in the earliest days of the 20th century that this happened. This was the real technology back then. This had real legs. This could be utilized, in fact, was utilized, if you look at old photographs of Los Angeles all the way along the line in the early teens of the 20th century. You could see solar panels on all the houses until the oil boom hit, and it became obvious that this could be a monopoly for the few. I mean, we may not be able to control the sun, boys, because everybody's got access to it, but we can certainly control the oil. So what we have to do is destroy, suppress, defame, propagandize against all other forms of phony, baloney energy and say it's all about oil, it always was and it always will be. And you still, to this day, hear propagandists with that line whenever anybody really seriously brings up alternative energy. I'm not talking about Obama or Bush or Clinton alternative energy.